Hello guys, welcome to another video on this channel. My name is Greta Ahansi. I am a Nigerian currently living in Edmonton, Alberta as a permanent resident. Today I will be talking about tips. I'll be giving out tips, talking about tips for learning the French language. For those of you who are interested in learning the French language and going the French route, I will be sharing my experience and giving tips for learning the French language. Please take notes. This is just from my little experience during my time when I learned the French language, and it's not something that is cast in stone. For me, it took me 2 years because I had things to sort out. I had financial issues to take care of, and I also had other things I was doing. I know about 2-3 people that it only took 1 year to learn the language, and they wrote the test and they passed the exam. They wrote the test. About two people I know wrote the test once. Others wrote the test 2 times. It depends on one's peculiar situation. So do not think, okay, because I wrote the test 3 times, one might just end up is something that's cast in stone, that one has to plan to write the test 3 times. Different strokes for different folks. Now, the first thing I'll be talking about concerning on this subject would be planning and making research. If you've been watching previous videos, you will know it's one thing I always talk about. Plan and make research. Plan and make research, because who starts a building without first sitting down to plan whether he can do it right? You're learning a new language, something you've never spoken before. It's not a walk in the park. It's not going to be a walk in the park. So it's something that it's doable, it's possible. I did it. But you just have to plan, both financially, mentally, emotionally, so that when the going gets tough, you would remind yourself why you are doing this thing. The second thing I would want you to note is find a community or groups to join. Guys, I cannot overemphasize this. Find a community. If you watched my video when I talked about my PRO journey, I talked about how I was in this Telegram group, but I wasn't following up. I wasn't joining them in the activities until one night I just decided to join, and I discovered that I have been sitting on a gold mine and I did not know it. That was when it was like things just started working out for me as regards the French journey. It was like God just opened my eyes to see that you have something good here. You are not making use of it. I met people there, people that I still chat with, that we are still good friends, people that would research and come and tell me this is how it's going, this is what you need to do, and all of that. Yes. Find a community, groups, find a group to join. They are free. There are free groups on Telegram, guys, even on I think on Instagram too. If you want a Telegram group, there's a TEF group where they speak every night. There's a TCF group. Please just write to me and I will share the link with you. Find a community, guys. You cannot do this on your own. When the going gets tough, it's people that share their stories on those groups that would keep you going. It's the strength. You would ride on the strength of those people. Trust me. Another thing, the next thing I would want us to note is ask questions, network. That group you have just joined, don't just stay there. Yeah, I know, of course, some people will just be silent followers, silent members of the group, just reading through messages. But it's very important you ask questions. Don't be taking person the shameful. What are you ashamed of? What are you shy about? Ask questions, network, reach out to people and ask, especially when you are confused. Then the next thing, you have joined a group, right? Another very important thing I would always tell people is go to a French school first. Some people just go into getting a tutor. See, if you're new, this is my own opinion, my own personal advice. If you're new on this French journey, go to a school first. You have Alliance Française, you have there at Ikoyi, at Ikeja, you have another one at Ikeja. I really do not know their name now. Go to a French school first. I would always advise people, please take note again, this is my own personal opinion. I would always advise people, go to a French school first. do the A1 level and the B1 level, like the A1, the A2, and the B1 level. Those initial foundation stages, do them first. Then get a tutor that will now take you on exam preparation and also on the B2 level. So you're using two stones because you already have the foundation, because you already have that foundation knowledge, right? Then the private tutor will now do one-on-one with you and solidify what you have learned, your knowledge, or you have gained so far. Go to a school first, that's my advice, then a private tutor, because getting a private tutor is not cheap. I don't think there's a private tutor that will charge you anything less than 30,000 naira a month. With the way things are expensive now, they now charge 40,000 naira a month. And if you now go and jam the one that will just be teaching you, taking you to where you don't know, you would find it hard. You would think, okay, this thing is terrible, I can't do it. It will be so hard for you. So go to a school first. You will also meet people there you'll be chatting with, sharing your experiences with. Then get a private tutor to just solidify and prepare you for the exams. Do one-on-one. Although some people go to the French school, and that's Alliance Française or the other one, from the beginning to the end to write the exam, and it works out for them. But this is my own opinion. And then another thing is, please be careful when you're getting a private tutor. Please be very careful. Be very careful. Let me hold my ear. Be very careful when you are choosing a private tutor. Get a referral. Don't reach out to people to refer you, like people you know that have gone through the stage. Reach out to them to refer you to a very reliable and good private tutor. Then the next thing, that's like all the points are important. The next point will be work at it yourself. Put in the work. Study. Don't just go like when you start the French school. Don't just go and say, okay, I'm tired, I get back. You just pack your books and the following day you go to work. I know that it's not easy from work, and you go to the French school, especially for those people that have families. I used to wonder how they do it or how they did it. Yeah, I was single, but throughout on this journey, I met some people. I know a doctor that did the French. She had 3 children. She was married. She was going to the hospital and she studied French. The other lady was married. She had a child. I know people that had 4 children. I know men that did it. I used to wonder, how did they do it? It's not easy, but you have to study. You don't just go to the school or go learn, come back, you drop your books, because most times you go only 3 times in a week. Then to the next time you go again and you think it will sink in. No, you have to seek for source for materials. There are materials, editor A1, I think, to the B level, to the C level. If you want to get to the C level, which is the highest level, you have editor books, you have the easy French textbooks. On those groups, they share these textbooks. Study them by yourself. Watch YouTube channels. French school online. I'll just leave the names here, like as many as I can get. They're a gold mine. Podcasts, Coffee Break French podcast. I started listening to it from the very beginning, from the very first episode that was posted on that podcast. I listened to it, especially during the COVID, guys. That was why I said, from where I stopped A1, my level had already increased. Even though I wasn't putting so much. With podcast, I'm going to work, I'm listening to it. I'm at the office, I'm doing my work, because I didn't have to communicate every time there's something in my ear, instead of listening to gist and gossip and everything. Because I knew I had a goal. So I just focused, like my spare time, I was using it. Go watch YouTube channels, listen to podcasts, like immerse yourself in the language. Work at it yourself, guys. Work at it yourself. Even when I started preparing for my exam, the TCF exam, I took the TCF exam because my speaking was terrible. Do you know what my tutor advised me to do? And someone else advised me, like I would record. She told me to record myself and listen to myself again. At first it was difficult because you don't know what you are saying. You're blabbing and you're recording it. Would you want to listen to your rubbish? But I did it. Guys, within a month, my tutor testified that, Greater, you have improved. I would record myself talk. I was speaking the rubbish. I was listening to my rubbish. From things like I was doing it every day. Sometimes I'll do 2 recordings in a day. I kept at it and I improved. So you have to work at it. But this was close to the time I knew that I was preparing for the exam. But at the beginning stage, invest in YouTube channels. They are there. YouTube is a gold mine, sincerely, to university on its own. Invest in podcasts. Immerse yourself in the language. Change your phone settings, your phone language to French. Yeah, my colleagues know, they used to tell me that if someone steals your phone, the person will be confused because everything was in French. I would write in French. Sometimes I would write to them and I'll make a mistake. They'll say, now you're on your French keyboard. Guys, work at it. Immerse yourself. Make everything about you French. Watch French television stations. Even though you don't understand, just immerse yourself. But let me tell you, the more you listen to all of these things, the more you pick, the more it enters you, the more you will notice growth, like immense growth in your French learning. And then another very important thing, take breaks. Take a break when needed. Take a break when needed. Because one day I stood at my window. It was late in the night. I had just gotten back from work. I had had a class. I had had enough. I stood at my window and I looked outside the window. I asked myself, Greta, who sent you? Who sent you? It was like a bone in my throat. I couldn't swallow it. I couldn't throw it out. But I told myself, you have 2 options. It's either you quit or you continue. It's either you quit or you continue. But I couldn't go back. I just had to move forward, guys. Even my tutor told me, Greta, if you want to watch a movie, leave French and watch a movie. She told me, take a break. I wasn't going out. I was a social recluse because I just had a target. Yes, that's one thing. You need to give yourself a duration, but give yourself a reasonable duration. A year, 6 months. It's doable within a year. But if you feel you're not catching up, give yourself a year, 6 months. It will surely happen. It will surely come to pass. Though it may tarry, but yet it will come. Still, it will come to pass. So just give yourself a reasonable time frame. Take breaks when needed because it's mentally draining. It's mentally tasking, guys. Then another thing you will need to consider is what exam to take. You have the TCF exam and the TEF exam. Which do you think? Previously, the TEF used to be more popular, but when it was suspended, people now went the TCF way, but people still prefer the TEF exam. For me, anything I'm saying here is my own point of view, my own opinion. I would write the TCF exam. I will pick the TCF exam over and over again over the French, even over the TEF rather. Even though it was the TEF I started preparing for at the first instance, but I will pick the TCF exam. This is my own opinion because I find it easier than the TEF. My own opinion, please. My own opinion. Don't say, okay, because I did the TCF, I'll do the TCF. However, you have to consider, look at both exams, try to get, see if you can get materials you can study for both exams and see which one works best for you. Look at what both tests require, the requirements for the TCF, the requirement for the TEF, and see which works best for you, which you find easy, and give it a shot. But the most important thing, guys, pray, plan, and pursue. Seek the face of God first, then plan. If it's something you can do, like my friends used to tell me, God forbid that they cannot sit down to say they want to learn French, but it was something I found interesting. That the fact that I can speak 2 languages, a foreign language, and that it would also help my Canadian journey. And here I am now. And I am happy. I don't want to let go of the French. I'm still finding ways to improve so that I get to speak it continuously. So guys, I hope you found this video interesting. If you have questions, like I would always say, ask me please in the comment section. I am ready and willing to ask you. I'll also be leaving my email address so that you can always write to me in case you don't want to write your comment, you don't want to write your questions in the comment section. Well, please, is French possible to learn? Yes. Is it hard? I wouldn't say it's hard. I would say it's a tough one, but you can always and definitely give it a go once you put your mind to it. Is it doable? Yes. Do I know lots of people that have gotten this thing through that are in Canada now because of the French they studied? Lots and lots and lots. And you know what? Here, getting a bilingual job pays you a bit higher than just being able to speak English only, and there are lots of opportunities for bilingual speakers. French will always be a big thing, and you know the possibility of being bilingual, it opens doors. So I have a B2 diploma certificate, guys. I went beyond just doing, that's another thing to note, I went beyond just doing the TCF test, which expires in 2 years like the IELTS. I did a diploma, very important, please do that. So I have a diploma, a B2 diploma certificate, which is very recognized outside. If I want to go to France tomorrow, I'm sure that thing would be useful for me. Is French always going to be a game changer in Canadian immigration? Yes. Does French give you international opportunities? Yes. Learning languages too. So guys, thank you so very much once again for staying tuned. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much as always. If you have not subscribed, please just subscribe now. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Like this video, please, share and engage with me in the comment section. Until I see you the next time, bye bye.